Cosmos, former Secretary. Ano ho ba? Pwede ho bang ang BICAM report may blanco, nakikila pa na lang ng technical staff. And hanggang saan pwede ang blanco? Kasi I suppose by the time na mag-ratify, dapat wala na blanco yan.
Ilan ng blank?
Alam mo, hindi ko na alam kung ano nangyari sa BICAM. Ngunit, on the legal principles, wala pong magawa. Tama po yung ginawa ng Presidente. Ang pinirmahan niya, yung printed enrolled copy. At ang po ang controlling. Hindi yung BICAM report na mayroong mga blanco. Dahil sa, hindi ko alam kung ano nangyari, pero siguro nag-usap sila ulit at ng technical staff at kung ano man yung mga ina-adjust doon ginawa at niratify ito, pinirmahan ng Senate President at ng Speaker of the House. Yung kanilang pirma po ay nag-certify that the process in Congress was followed in preparing the General Appropriations Act. Ulitin ko lang po, may certification po ang Pangulo ng Senado at ang Speaker of the House nung tinansmit yung enrolled copy na ang proseso sa ating saligang batas doon sa pagpasa ng isang panukalang batas kagaya ng General Appropriations Act ay sinunod. Kaya po ito ay binding po on everyone. Hindi po pwedeng silipin ng Presidente at sabihin, yung inyong BICAM report may pagkukulang, mayroong blanco. Hindi po, Brian. Alam mo, Sid Ungab is a good, I think he's an accountant, no? And ako po'y nakatrabaho ko si Sid Ungab. Talaga pong nakakaintindihan. Siguro hindi lang masyadong naintindihan ng amo niya dahil hindi naman tinitingnan mo ang budget na yan. Ngunit sa akin po, mahirapan po na baliktarin ang nangyari at mahirapan na ibaliktarin ng Supreme Court ang proseso. At sa akin po, yung General Appropriations Act ay valid at hindi po maging dahilan ng pagbaliwala ng GAA, dahilan po doon sa sinasabing may mga blanco sa pinirmahan na bicameral committee report.
So, Senator, Senate President, itong isasampang kaso o nasampa na ni Vic Rodriguez at saka ni Ungab sa Supreme Court, no? Batay dito sa alleged blank statements na ito, blank bahagi ng GAA, ay walang future, walang kinabukasan, ayon sa inyo.
Yes, in my professional judgment, bilang abogado po, at 24 na taon tumingin ng ating General Appropriations Act, walang basihan po ang unfortunately ginagawang politika ng mga grupo ni Duterte, ginagawang politika at pinapaniwawala ang taong bayan na mali ito, na invalid. Sa akin po, wala pong basihan ang mga sinasabi nila at yan po ay masusustain ng Supreme Court.
Pero Senate President?
Ang pagkakaintindi ko, hindi lang yung blank, hindi lang yung blank items ang kini-question eh. Ito kini-question din nila yung pagtanggal yung mas mataas ang binigay na amount sa DPWH kesa sa the entire sector of education, which is against the Constitution. Sinama nila dun sa petition nila, dun sa area na yon, sa tingin nyo? Yung argument na yon against the GAA.
There is a justiciable controversy, ika nga amin. Talaga pong kailangan tingnan yun kung talaga bang mas mataas o mas mababa ang allocation for education at yan po pwede magbasihan na magiging unconstitutional yung General Appropriations Act kung base doon sa mas mababa ang allocation for the education sector. Ngunit hindi po dahilan sa may blanco na sa Bicameral Conference Committee report.
In your experience,
President,
yung compliance with the Constitution, yung bang education ang kinocompute yung the entire education sector?
Is it the
Saka
sector, sir, or
ano
the department?
yung definition ng education sector? Kasi kine-question din dahil sinama pati yung PMA, yung PNPA. Kasama ba yun sa education sector?
Dati po hindi kasama yan. Ang talagang traditionally, ang sinasama sa education sector, yung DepEd budget, yung SUC's budget, yung pong
Yes.
test budget, at saka yung tawag nito, yung CHED. Yan lang po
CHED.
traditionally ang kinukonsider na education sector. Yan po ang aming tinitingnan nung nandun ako sa Senado. Kaya po ito isang issue na kailangan ang basbas ng Korte Suprema, ngunit sa akin po mali yung ginawa. Hindi po nakapag-compute. Ngunit kung yan po ay sinasama nila pati Philippine Military Academy, yung local government something training unit,
Yes.
hindi po dapat yan dahil sa pinag-uusapan ng education, ang konsepto is preparing our youth, our future manpower. Hindi po yung mga postgraduate nga. Hindi dapat kasama yun dahil hindi yan in the contemplation of our constitutional commissioners. They did not contemplate on the Philippine Military Academy as part of the education sector.
Pero sir, yung pagpapatay ng mga
Senate
school
President.
buildings sa
Senate
mga school
President.
buildings ng DPWH, could that also be part, or could that also be considered as part of the education sector? DPWH patay ng school buildings.
Alin po, sorry?
Kung DPWH sir nagpapatay ng school buildings, would that also be considered for the education sector?
I repeat, noong panahon when I was there, ang consider lang na education sector, yun pong DepEd, yung CHED, SUCs, at saka TESDA. Ngayon, yung school building program, dati po sa budget yung DepEd yan eh. DepEd ang gumagawa. Kaya siguro na nakukonsider in the budget of the education sector. Ngayon, hiniwalay, kaya I think DPWH is contributing. Yan po ay open question sa akin which
Okay.
is Supreme Court will determine.
SP, nag-react si former SP Tito Soto sa statement ni Congresswoman Kimbo tungkol dun sa post-BICAM report bago dumating sa presidente na tinas daw niya yung technical working group na punuan yung mga kakulangan. Parang may acceptance si Congresswoman Kimbo na meron ng blank spaces na yung TWG daw ang kanyang inutusan para
Roman.
ayusin. Yeah.
Are you assuming na mayroong blanco? Assuming.
Yes.
Ngunit ang controlling ay yung printed enrolled copy. Yun ang pinipirmahan ng Pangulo at walang kapangyarihan ng Pangulo to look behind the certification of the Senate President and the House Speaker certifying that the legislative process was followed. Nakalagay po yan sa enrolled copy. Doon po sa pinipirmahan ng Senate President and House Speaker. Yan po ay isang certification that is binding on the Supreme Court because of the separation of powers concept. In other words, hindi na pwede sabihin, mali ka Mr. Senate President. Hindi po naman sinunod eh. They cannot do that because of the principle of separation of powers, in my view.
SP, if I may just reframe that question of Tito Ronald, hanggang saan pwedeng magstay yung blanco doon sa papel? For example, di ba, from the BICAM, kasi acknowledge naman ni Stella Kimbo, may blanco doon sa BICAM report, and some congressmen saw blanks din sa kanilang copies. Hanggang saan pwede siya from the BICAM going down to each chamber, to the ratification of each chamber? Kasi I suppose after ratification, yun yung enrolled copy eh. So hanggang saan ang pwedeng blanco and still be considered binding?
Material po kung hanggang saan yung blanco. Basta kompleto yung enrolled printed copy, blanco man yung bicameral conference committee report or final upon later, that's beside the point. What is important is that the Senate President and the Speaker of the House certified that the process was followed and nung dumating kay Presidente, ang printed enrolled copy ay kompleto. Printed enrolled copy ay kompleto.
Okay.
Senator, may isa pang controversial issue dyan sa na kine-question din, yung sobrang paglaki ng unprogrammed appropriations. Times 3 na nung original dun sa National Expenditure Program. Ano ba yung experience nyo with unprogrammed appropriations nung senador kayo?
That's most unusual. Kaya po ako sang-ayon dun sinasabi ng what critic, I think it's the former Undersecretary of Finance. That is
Yes.
the most corrupt budget because ano din po, yung mga congressmen natin, yung House of Representatives, who is the principal proponent of the General Appropriations Act, they found a basis putting in or providing fiscal space by moving the program projects to the unprogrammed portion. Kaya lumaki po ang unprogrammed portion. Sa amin pong binilang ko po yan for the last 3 budgets, 2020, 25, 2024, 2023. Yung tatlong budgets po na yan, yung unprogrammed portion ay umaabot ng 1 trillion. Ano pong ibig sabihin nito? Yung 1 trillion, inilipat nila sa unprogrammed funds and they created money para sa mga pork barrel. Hindi ko sinasabi na lahat yan nirelease. Ngunit they created an opportunity to fund their pork barrel by putting it in the unprogrammed portion of the budget.
Ngayon, ang isa pang tanong, paano kapag nagdesisyon ng Supreme Court na unconstitutional nga yan, anong mangyayari doon sa GAA for this year alone, For this year, anong mangyayari doon?
Ang ibig lang sabihin, yung budget, yung General Appropriations Act last year is extended to this year. Because yan po yung batas.
Pero na-challenge din yun because of the, yung impounding naman ng mga savings, quote-unquote, ng mga government-owned and controlled corporations. Meron din question yon na nasa Supreme Court. Kaya nga natigil yung pag-i-impound yung third and fourth tranches ng PhilHealth para mailipat sana nga doon pa rin sa unprogrammed appropriations. Ano mangyayari yun? Can you reenact yung budget na ganyan? Sabagay, hindi pa siya narurul ng constitutional, Mari-reenact yung 2024.
Nung reenact mo yung budget, nandun yung punto Kaya hindi problema yun. Hindi problema yung linipat. At yung iba naman yun sinasabi that the transfer of funds is not constitutional. So, pag sinabi ng Korte Suprema, tama yun, mali yung paglipat nyo ng pundo ng PhilHealth. What will happen is that ibabalik sa general fund, yung nilipat, ibabalik para sa PhilHealth, yung nilipat sa general fund. Walang epekto on the entire budget. Ang talagang makaka-apekto dyan kung sasabihin ng Korte Suprema na dahilan po kahit for whatever reason, hindi invalidate yung 2025 General Appropriations Act, then babalik tayo sa reenacted budget.
Sir,
SP Drilon, marami ngayong mga pagkilos, marami mga planong pagsampa ng kaso sa Supreme Court. Iba't iba yung mga calls, May calls na impeach all, may calls na revolutionary government, may calls na kung ano-ano. So, from your vantage point, SP, what can you advise these groups? What should they do? Should they just focus on filing a case in the Supreme Court? Dahil ang dami ngayong mga lumalabas na mga proposals.
We follow the rule of law, Ronald. And the remedy is kailangan husgahan ng Korte Suprema. Yan po ang sistema natin. There is no other system. Otherwise, we will become a banana republic.
Sir, balikan ko lang po yung BICAM. There are those who say na it seems like the BICAM has become a little bit too powerful, that it's become the third chamber of Congress, not just the Congress, not just the Senate, but the BICAM as well. Kasi at a certain point, it's already making decisions outside of its original task of reconciling differences between the two chambers. I understand, for example, in the Senate rules, the tasking of the BICAM is only to reconcile conflicts and nothing else. But yeah, for example, in this year's budget, they moved huge amounts around that were not even touched on by either chamber in their approved bills. So, what do you think of that po? And well, as well, the BICAM naman talaga is only operating because it was created by the two chambers and nothing else. So, nobody sets the rules.
Just as a matter of legal proposition, the BICAM action is valid because, again, it's a political body. They are mandated to reconcile, and the Supreme Court has already ruled. This does not prevent them from having totally new provisions. That is not, that the fact that it was not in either the General Appropriations Bill passed by the House or the Senate does not pass them from incorporating that into the law. But having said that, I would like to put across the message that I think the President has lost control over his budget. For the last particularly last 2 years, halos yung House of Congreso na lang, or particularly the House of Representatives, is the one running running the budget, and they have mangled the budget. You can no longer recognize it. Remember that the budget is a result, is an output of our economic managers. Remember that the public spending contributes to about 20 to 25% of our gross domestic product. Kaya po yung economic managers are tasked to craft the President's budget, what we call the National Expenditure Program. E pagdating po ng General Appropriations Bill, pagdating sa House, they mangled everything. The President has lost control over the budget process. And I urge the President, recover that control for the good of the country. Kaya tingnan nyo, natanggal yung chairman dahilan sa hindi na-discover ng Malacanang na talagang hindi na maintindihan, hindi na nila makilala yung ginawa ng economic managers na National Expenditure Program. It was mangled in Congress, and it has an effect. This has an effect on our lenders because they are looking at our deficit, and the deficit will balloon because of the funding of the projects which are not a part of the regular budget. So talagang masama ito. As I said, I will repeat, regardless of the legalities of what has happened, the most important thing is that the President has lost, that's the most unfortunate thing, the President has lost control over the budget. Kaya ngayon, nakikita mo, they're all scrambling kung saan-saan kinukunan ng mga pundo. Yung PDIC, 107 billion. Yung PhilHealth, I don't know how I can't remember anymore. But this is evidence that, because the budget was bungled, and the funds that were supposed to fund the programs necessary to move our economy, nawala na lahat. Dinigay sa pork barrel. And here, really, in my view, it is unfortunate that the President has lost control over his own economic program as pronounced in the General Appropriations Act.
Senator, how might he be able to regain control? Sa tingin niyo, ano ang pwedeng remedyo dyan?
Well, he can regain control by making sure that the releases are proper, because he has control over the release of the funds.
Yes.
to the extent it is still possible to, I do not know to what extent the president can again fund the deleted or unfunded regular programs. That's a question of computing how much it will cost. But the president should try to do that, realign. The power of the president to realign is recognized in the Constitution, and he has that power but to realign the savings from the other items and place it, let's say, in education. He can realign items in the in the pork barrel budget and put it back to the computerization. He has that power.
There was a lot of mention about pork barrel in the budget, which was of course outlawed in 2013. I suppose by that you're referring to yung ayuda programs that have found their way back into the budget, yung AKAP, among other things, and possibly even the AIX. But there are many ways of going about trying to make it not look like a pork barrel. I'm wondering lang if it's legally questionable, for example, with the Supreme Court, whether this is a pork barrel or not. If it can be legally challenged.
Okay, let's go back to what the Supreme Court said. Why did the Supreme Court say that the pork barrel was unconstitutional? The basic premise is the legislator participated in the post-enactment.
Yeah,
Ibig
post-enactment.
sabihin, napirmahan na batas na.
Yes, sir. Teka. Sir. May ingay lang ng konti.
Merong maingay.
May ingay ng konti. Okay.
Merong ingay.
Tito Ronald, mukhang maingay yung background mo, Tito Ronald. Yes, sir. Okay, sir. Sorry, let's go back.
Yeah, let's go back. Where was I? I already
Yes, sir.
forgot.
The post-enactment.
Yung
Post-enactment.
yung Supreme Court ruling na
The Supreme
post-enactment,
Court ruling- The Supreme Court ruling on the pork barrel was premised on the fact that after the budget is signed into law, the congressmen and the senators, including me, would submit our projects to be funded by a lump sum amount. There's a lump sum amount after the budget is passed. We would submit projects to be sourced, the funding of which is sourced from the lump sum amount. The Supreme Court said that's unconstitutional because you are participating in the process of allocating public funds after the budget is signed and has become law. Hindi po pwede yan. So what did Congress do? What Congress did was for the legislators, individual legislators, to submit their amendments, that's why they are called amendments or initiatives, because it is submitted in the course of the budget debates so that it would appear that the submission of a certain project went through a process of debate and examination. But that is fictional. In truth and in fact, when you submit a project, hindi naman tinitingnan yan kung mayroon mong project study, etc. So that is included in the budget, not as a lump sum, but as individual projects in compliance with the decision of the Supreme Court. Kaya yan po ay hindi na, it responds to the unconstitutional challenge before the Supreme Court on the pork barrel. So may pork barrel pa rin, pero in compliant na doon on the surface, doon sa decision ng Supreme Court. But having said that, alam niyo po ang masama sa pork barrel, yung komisyon eh.
Yes, sir.
Yung tawag naming SOP. Ha? Kung wala namang SOP, pwede mo namang gawin na maayos yung proyekto mo. I can be proud. I can look at anyone and in the eye and say, pumunta ka sa amin. Last week, I inaugurated a 1.5 billion 5-kilometer highway. I admit that was my pork barrel. I put up the convention center in Iloilo. I admit that was my pork barrel. So I widened roads there. I admit this was my pork barrel. But when pork barrel execution is done with integrity, nakaka-benepisyo po yun sa taong bayan. Ang masama lang, yung pork barrel na ginagawa lang na line item at binubulsa ang pondo para doon sa proyekto niyo.
Chowking Mix and Match.
Chow Fan! Halo-halo!
99 pesos lang.
Actually, Ed, ang nature ng pork